I should have stayed dead. I came to in the kind of bathroom that makes you question your life choices. Cracked tile, piss-stained grout, and the faint smell of bleach over blood. My blood. The mirror was fogged, but I didn't need a clear reflection to know what I looked like. Wreckage. Human wreckage. Shirt soaked, ribs screaming, something wet and warm trickling from my side. 3 holes, maybe 4. Couldn't tell. Didn't matter. I was still breathing, and that was apparently an inconvenience to someone. My phone buzzed. Face down on the dirty floor, screen cracked like a spider web. I dragged it toward me with fingers that didn't want to move. Unknown number. 1 new message. You weren't supposed to survive. I laughed, coughed. Something inside rattled. Maybe a lung, maybe guilt. I tried to stand. Failed. Tried again, leaned on the wall like an old drunk. Pushed the door open with my shoulder. And there it was, hanging on the back of the bathroom door, like a ghost that never left. LT's coat, the brown leather worn collar, blood-stained sleeve, the same coat he wore the night I got shot and left behind like bad evidence. He was supposed to be dead. Unless he wasn't. Ghosts don't call back. I stared at the coat like it might blink. No dust, no mold. It hadn't been here long. That meant one thing: he'd been here. LT, the guy who used to cover my 6, the guy who pulled me out of fires and threw me into the last one. My shoulder burned as I reached for it. It was heavier than I remembered. Familiar weight, familiar stench, smoke, leather, regret. Inside pocket, right side where he always kept his smokes. No cigarettes, or just a lighter. Chrome, scratched, etched with the words, LT ride or die. Yeah, well, guess I rode. Guess I died. The hell was he still doing riding? I clicked it open, but it didn't spark. Instead, something fluttered out a note, folded down to a strip no wider than a thumb. Yellow paper, ink smudged. 5 words. Meter, midnight, dock 9. My stomach turned. Her. There was only ever one, her. The kind of woman who could kiss you and cut you in the same breath. The kind that made scars worth remembering. Midnight, dock 9. Of course, because nothing ever ends in daylight in this city. Tension rising, shadows getting longer. Just sweethearts and snares. She always did love the docks. The cold air, the sound of water slapping concrete. The way fog wrapped around her like a goddamn halo made of smoke. I should have known back then anyone who feels at home in that kind of silence. You don't bring them home. You keep your distance and your wallet zipped. Midnight hit like a gunshot. I was 5 minutes early and already regretting it. She was there. Of course she was. Red coat, cigarette dangling between 2 fingers like it owed her something. Eyes sharp as broken glass. Same smirk, soft on the outside, poison underneath. She looked older, harder, still beautiful, still lethal. She lit the cigarette with his lighter. That did it. You've got good taste in fire, I said. She didn't flinch. Just exhaled smoke and memory in one slow drag. You always were bad at staying dead. I stepped closer. Rain in my eyes, blood in my shirt, rage in my throat. And you were always good at pretending. She smiled. I didn't have to pretend, sweetheart. They paid me to love you. She leaned in. Real close. Close enough I could smell the lie coming off her lips before she even said it. But I did it for free. The tension snaps and the fall begins. The shot. I didn't hear. There was a second where time froze. You know, the one just after the truth lands and before your body figures out how to hate it. Her eyes held mine. Calm. Like she'd made peace with whatever was coming next. Then it came. Crack. Not loud, not cinematic, just sharp like a bone, snapping under weight. Her mouth opened, but not for words. Blood pushed out instead, slow, dark, too much. She stumbled, hit the concrete like her strings got cut. No scream, no drama, just thud. I didn't move. Behind the crates, something shifted. A figure. Tall, rain-slick, gone before I could even swear. I dropped to her side, knees soaking, hands shaking. She blinked once. You're not done, she whispered, voice like sand. They're coming for your name, not your life. What the hell does that mean? I asked.
But she was already somewhere else. And that was it. She died like she lived, telling half the truth and leaving me with the worst half. The body's cold, but the game is still burning. The file. I should have walked away, left her there. Called it fate. Disappeared like the ghost they wanted me to be, but no, I had to know. Because that's the thing about betrayal. Once you taste it, you either spit it out or swallow the whole goddamn meal. Her bag was next to her, half zipped. Inside, a gun, a burner phone, and a black binder. No labels, no logo. Just matte black and bad energy. I opened it. One page. A list. Names. 23 of them. First names, last names, all typed like obituaries waiting for a date. Mine was number 17. Crossed out in red.
They thought I was dead. Good, let them keep thinking it. But the last name, that's what stopped my breath. LT, not crossed out. Still breathing. Still out there. Still in the game. And that meant one thing. He's next. Where the past pulls up a bar stool and the lies start tasting like truth. Sandpaper voices. There's only one place LT ever ran to when the walls closed in Vargas. The kind of bar where the light dies on arrival and the jukebox only plays regrets. I walked in limping, blood crusted to my side like a badge no one wanted. Place hadn't changed. Still smelled like spilled gin and old promises. He was at the bar. Back to me. Same slouch, same leather jacket. Mine. He turned slowly, like he already knew I was coming. His eyes scanned me the way a man does when he's not sure if you're here to drink or kill. You look like shit, he said, voice rougher than I remembered. You look alive, I answered. Bit of a plot twist. He motioned to the empty stool next to him. I sat, but didn't relax. I don't sit next to ghosts unless I'm holding the shovel. I had to choose, he muttered, not looking at me.
You or the payout. He sipped his drink. I chose wrong. Debt collection. I didn't answer right away. Just stared at my glass like it held a better past at the bottom. You chose wrong, I finally said. You buried me in a parking garage. LT. That's not a choice, and that's a hit. He looked tired. Real tired. The kind of tired that doesn't come from no sleep, but from too much memory. There was a buyer, he said. Big, bigger than us. Wanted silence. You were noise. Bullshit. I said, I kept my mouth shut. He nodded. Exactly. That made you unpredictable. I could have hit him.
Should have, but I didn't. Because sometimes silence is louder than fists. He reached into his coat slow and pulled out a key. Rusted. Labeled only with a number. 42. Safe house, he said. It's all there. Everything you need. Files, money, the tape. I looked him dead in the eyes. Why now? He smirked. Hollow. Because they're coming for me, too. And I don't run well with knives in my back. The tape. The safe house was a ghost box on the east end. Cracked windows, dead bolts that never kept anything out, and the air thick with mildew and regret. I kicked the door in. Didn't bother knocking. If anyone was inside, they weren't breathing. Dust. Silence. A drawer half open. Inside, a bundle of cash, an old recorder, and a pack of cigarettes I hadn't smoked in years. The tape was already loaded. I hit play. Her voice. Flat. Tired. Like she was talking from the bottom of a lake. If you're hearing this, it means I'm dead. Surprise. I didn't move. She kept going. It wasn't supposed to go like this. You weren't supposed to survive. But if you did, you need to know they bought us all. LT, me, the whole crew. Only difference, I hated every second of it. He didn't. Then a pause, breathing. They want your name erased, not your body. You're not a man to them, you're a story, and they're burning pages. Click. Silence. Except in my head, where every lie started playing on loop, the page turns. And what's left ain't pretty. Clean hands, dirty fingers. I burned the tape. Watched the ribbon curl like a snake in heat. Watched the truth melt into nothing. Felt nothing. Maybe that's what scared me. I loaded the gun. 6 in the chamber. One name left, one loose end too stubborn to stay frayed. But then I saw it. Tucked behind the drawer lining a second sheet. Different paper. Older. Yellowed. Handwritten. A name. And not LT. Not hers.
Someone else. Finn, my old handler. Long before the jobs, the blood, the lies, before I forgot who I used to be, he was the one who pulled me into this life. He taught me how to disappear. Taught me how to erase people. And now, he was the one signing my obituary. Of course, I muttered. Of course. You dig long enough, you always find the original shovel. Last move. Finn's office sat high above the city like guilt pretending to be clean. Glass walls, polished floors, not a trace of blood, just echoes. I walked in, soaked, half dead, gun in hand, soul long gone. The receptionist didn't flinch. Maybe she was paid not to. Maybe she was just used to ghosts walking through the front door. No one stopped me. I took the elevator alone. Floor 33. Final floor. Final breath. The door slid open. And there he was. Finn. Older, slick, unbothered. He didn't reach for a weapon, just smiled like a man who'd already played his last card. Welcome back, detective, he said, voice like ice in a glass. You're a hard man to bury. I raised the gun. He didn't blink. Didn't plead. Go ahead, he said. But ask yourself, are you killing me or finally killing who you used to be? That's the thing about closure. It never really shuts the door. Pulled the trigger. Maybe I didn't. Depends who's telling the story.